Okay. හරි. අපි එහෙමනම් regular irregular verbs කියන එකට යමු. ඒක මම කියලා දෙන්නම් යෙදෙන විදිය. හරිනේ? Right. Here we go. Past tense එක යා past tense එකේ grammar part. The grammar part which belongs to the simple past tense. So the verbs can be divided into two parts as regular verbs and irregular verbs. Verbs can be divided into two parts as regular and irregular verbs. So once you hear the regular verbs, you have to understand that most of them have ed at the end when it comes to the past tense and the past participle. Not always, but when it comes to the past tense and the past participle. So in addition to that, you have the same past tense and past participle forms. Past tense is equal to the past participle regarding regular verbs. So regarding irregular verbs, regarding irregular verbs, right? They have no regular styles, no regular patterns. But there are some groups which you have to study. Most of the times, past tense is not the past participle, they are different. For example, if I take a regular verb, work, right, like work, so the past tense is worked and the past participle is also worked. These two are similar. And you get ed at the end. When it comes to irregular verbs, eat, past tense ate, and past participle is eaten. Now listen attentively. I'm going to explain that in Sinhala. Sinhalin කියන අහන් ඉන්න. දැන් ඉංග්‍රීසි වල ඒවා තේරෙන්න ඕන. Regular verbs කියන්නේ regular කියන්නේ විධිමත් කියන. Regular verbs. විධිමත් ක්‍රියාපද. හරි. විධිමත් ක්‍රියාපදවලදී අතීත කාලයේදී සහ අතීත කෘදාන්තයේදී ක්‍රියාපදය තුල තියෙනවා අගට ed කියන එක. සමහරලාට ed අපි එකතු කරන්න පුළුවන්, සමහරලාට d විතරක් එකතු කරන්න පුළුවන්. සමහර වෙලාවට ied එකතු වෙන්න පුළුවන්, සමහරලාට ked එකතු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එහෙම ගොඩක් වෙනස්කම් වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේකේ past tense එකයි past participle එකයි සමානයි. මේ උදාහරණයක් තියෙන word මේකේ ed එකතු වෙලා තියෙනවා. e තියෙනවා නම් d විතරයි දාන්න. तर irregular verbs කියන්නේ අතීත කාලයේ අතීත කෘදාන්තය හදද්දී no regular patterns විධිමත් patterns නැහැ. Groups හැබැයි කණ්ඩායම් study කරන්න පුළුවන්. Particular groups are there with special features. Okay, they follow special patterns and features. Eat, ate, eaten. Eat කියන එක අතීතයේ ate වෙනවා. eat මේ දෙන සමාන නැහැ. යාට ed ඇවිල්ලත් නැහැ. ඒකයිම කියන්නේ. දැනට ඔය ටික ලියාගමු. ලියාගෙන අපි සිංහල තේරුමට යමු. ඊට පස්සේ මම chart එක දෙන්නම්. Okay. තවත් ලියලා ඉවරයි නේද?
Yes, sir.
හරි. ලියන්න එතන. verbs කියන්නේ ක්‍රියාපද අවශ්‍ය කරන්නේ. එතන regular කියන්නේ විධිමත්. irregular කියන අවිධිමත්. මෙන්න මෙතන ලියවෙන්න ඕන. ක්‍රියාපදයේ යකට කෙසේ හෝ ed ලැබේ. ක්‍රියාපදයේ යකට කෙසේ හෝ ed ලැබේ. ක්‍රියාපදයේ යකට කෙසේ හෝ ed ලැබේ. අතීත කාලයේ අතීත කෘදන්තයට සමානයි. අතීත කාලයේ අතීත කෘදන්තයට සමානයි. අතීත කාලයේ අතීත කෘදන්තයට සමානයි. ඒතර work වෙනවා හරිනේ. ඊළඟ මෙතන තියෙන්නේ විධිමත් රටාවක් නැත. කණ්ඩායම් ලෙස පවතී. eat ate eaten. හරි. Out of that I'm going to start first the regular verbs. මේකේ මම ඉස්සෙල්ලා පටන් ගන්නවා regular verbs. ලියමු regular verbs. Now don't write anything, just listen to me and see if you can understand only English. ඉංග්‍රීසියෙන් විතරක් කියන ඒවා තේරුම් ගන්න පුළුවන්ද බලන්න. අපි ලියමු හිමීට. මම දැන් කතා කරන වෙලාවට ලියන්න එපා. So I'll write it as stem, past tense and past participle. So if you get most of the verbs, they are added ed at the end. You take a look at this and talk. It becomes talked. And the past participle is talked. You get here ed at the end. And the verbs which end in e, like, they get only d at the end because e is already present. Like. Hereafter, I'm not going to write the past participle because they are equal. Past participle is the same as the past tense. So I will write only this part. Number 3, regarding the verbs which end in double E, like agree, they get only D at the end. And regarding the verbs like die, which have IE at the end, they get only D. And if you take the verbs which end in Y, if you get this verb, play, it becomes played because no vowel sound there, you can add ed. But if you get cry, it becomes cried because of the vowel sound. So this Y is removed, left out, and we add IEG. But cried, you get silent E at the end. I vowel sound here, and you get silent E. Cried. And there are around 4 or 5 more. I'll be discussing them once you finish this. Take down. But remember, you have to take down, complete this chart also up to 2 or 3, right? Method එක සම්පූර්ණ කරගෙන ඉතුරු ටික ලිවෙ නැතත් කමක් නැහැ මොකද සමාන වෙන හින්දා. මේ ටික ලියන්න. Leave some space to write something in Sinhala. මේක යටින් සිංහලෙන් මොනවා හරි ලියන්න ඉඩ තියන්න. මම වාක්‍යයක් දෙනවා ලියන්න එක. Right, okay. Over to you. I'm not happy about the crowd today. Some people are absent. So the Andone have you finished? Someone says that he has finished.
Yes, sir.
එහෙනම් ලියන්න පළවෙනි එකේ ලියන්න. talk කියන දා ලියන්න සාමාන්‍යයෙන් ක්‍රියාපදවල අගට ed එකතු වේ. දෙවෙනි එක ලියන්න like කියන එක ලියන්න E අකුරක් ඇතිනම් D පමණක් එකතු කරයි. තුන්වෙනි එක ලියන්න. තනි අකුර වගේම තමයි අකුරු දෙක තිබ්බත් නේ. තුන්වෙනි එක ලියන්න double E වලින් අවසන් වන විට 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 D පමණක් යොදයි. හතර ලියන්න IE වලින් අවසන් වන විටද D පමණක් එකතු කරයි. හරි. ඊළඟ එක ලියන්න 5 A එකේ ලියන්න. පහ A එකේ ලියන්න. Y වලින් අවසන් වන විට Y වලින් අවසන් වන විට Y ට පෙර ස්වරයක් ඇතිනම් වයිට පෙර සොරයක් ඇති නම් වයිට පෙර සොරයක් ඇති නම් ED පමණක් එකතු කරන අතර ED පමණක් එකතු කරන අතර වයිට පෙර ගතකුරක් ඇති නම් IED එකතු කරයි. හරි ඉවරද පුතේ? right එහෙමනම් තව මේක කීපයක් කියලා දෙන්න තියෙනවා ඊට පස්සේ තේරෙන්නේ නැති කෙනෙක් අහන්න. right 1 2 3 4 5 number 6 if the verbs end with C to avoid that s sound at the end we use the k sound by adding k, right? Something like this. If you get the verb panic, here you get k sound, but if you add only ed here it becomes sed. Therefore in the past tense you add k also, panicked and panicked. And also regarding the verbs which have consonant plus vowel plus consonant, something like this. Stop. So this is a consonant and this is a vowel and again this is a consonant. Right. If this is stressed, usually if it is with a single syllable, it's stressed. And here you double this P and it becomes stopped. And if you get a verb like this, refer, so this part is stressed. Therefore, you use referred. But if you use this wait, right, so it has two vowels and not stressed. So you write waited. Regarding the British English, if you have verbs ending with L, something like travel, you double this L when you add ing or ed. Traveled. You double this L and traveled. In සිංහලෙන් අහගන්න මෙන්න මේ කා සවුන්ඩ් එකට C අකුරකට යෙදෙන ක්‍රියාපදවල එකට ED දැම්මොතින් E අකුරත් එක්ක C දෙන්නේ සර් කියලා. ඒ සර් කියන එක වළක්වන්න අපි කරන්නේ මොකද්ද? K අකුරක් දාලා ED දාන්න. K අකුරත් එක්ක ED. එතන ස්ටොප් කියන එක ගත්තම මේ වගේ එක මේ අග තියෙන සිලබල් එක ස්ට්‍රෙස් කරනවා. මේකේ සිලබල් කොහොමද එක හින්දා අග එකත් ඒකමයි. අග තියෙන සිලබල් එක ස්ට්‍රෙස් වෙනවා නම් අග අකුර ඩබල් කරලා ඉදි දාන්න. stopped, referred. ඒවයි. හැබැයි මේ වගේ ඒවයි wait කියලා. ලොකු බරකට කියවෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඊළඟ තමයි සර දෙකක් එකට තියෙන්නේ. ඒක අපි waited කියලා දානවා. ඒකට ed විතර දානවා. බ්‍රිතාන්‍ය ඉංග්‍රීසියේ එල් අකුරෙන් අවසන් වෙනවා නම් මොනවා එකතු කරත් ed ing එකතු කරද්දී අපි ඩබල් එල් කරලා තමයි ing දාන්නේ. හැබැයි ඉතින් ඇමරිකන් ඉංග්‍රීසි වල එහෙම නැහැ. ඇමරිකන් ඉංග්‍රීසි වල එහෙම නැති හින්දා දරුවට වැරද්ද දාන්නත් බෑ. හරි ලියා ගන්න. ඔකේ බලමු එහෙනම්. අංක 6 ලියන්න. 6 වෙනි එකේ ලියන්න. C වලින් අවසන් වන C වලින් අවසන් වන ක්‍රියාපදවල ක ශබ්දය අගට යෙදෙන නිසා හල්කයන්න ක ශබ්දය අගට යෙදෙන නිසා මොකද්ද කරන්නේ? සර්ච් ශබ්දයකට ඉදෙන නිසා K අකුරක් සමග ED එකතු කරන්න. හත ඒකේ ලියන්න. හත ඒ එතන ලියන්න. තනි ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩයේ ක්‍රියාපදවල හරි. මම කිව්වේ තනි ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩයේ ක්‍රියාපදවල අවසාන තනි ගාත්‍රාක්ෂරයට පෙර අවසාන තනි ගාත්‍රාක්ෂරයට පෙර නැත්නම් අවසාන තනි ගතකුරට පෙර අවසාන තනි ගාත්‍රාක්ෂරයට පෙර තනි ස්වරයක් ඇතිනම්
සෝරි සර් මට මේ 7 වෙනි එකේ ඒ කොටස එක පොඩ්ඩක් කියන්න පුළුවන්ද? මගේ මේ කනෙක්ෂන් පොඩ්ඩක් අවුල් ගියා.
okay it's okay. තනි ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩයේ ක්‍රියාපදවල තනි ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩයේ ක්‍රියාපදවල අවසාන තනි ගාත්‍රාක්ෂරයට පෙර අවසාන තනි ගාත්‍රාක්ෂරයට පෙර තනි ස්වරයක් ඇතිනම් අවසාන තනි ගාත්‍රාක්ෂරයට පෙර තනි ස්වරයක් ඇතිනම් ඒක ඇත්තටම මේකේ මම අර ඔයාලගේ පොත් ටිකේ දාලා ඇති බොහොම ලස්සනට consonant plus vowel plus consonant කියලා. චමත් මම පොත් ලෑස්ති කරලා තියෙන්නේ පුළුවන් තරම් ඉක්මනට පොත් ටික අවශ්‍යයි ගන්න. අවසාන තනි ගාත්‍රාක්ෂරයට පෙර තනි ස්වරයක් ඇතිනම් අග අකුර දෙගුණ කර ඉඩි එකතු කරන්න. අගාකුර දෙගුණ කර ED එකතු කරයි.
මේ ඉරිද වගේ අවුත් ගන්න පුළුවන් සර්.
ඉරිදා පුතේ ෂුවර් නෑ. ඉරිදා උදේ නම් මම ඉන්නවා. මට කෝල් එකක් දෙන්න right. In the morning I'll be there. Before 11:30, okay?
හරි සර්. එන්න පුළුවන් ඒ වගේලා.
හරි. අගාකුර දෙගුණ කර ED එකතු කරයි. ඊළඟ එකට එන්න. B කොටස ලියන්න. ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩ දෙකක් ඇතිනම් ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩ දෙකක් ඇතිනම් ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩ දෙකක් ඇතිනම් ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩ දෙකක් ඇතිනම් ඉහත රීතිය බලපාන්නේ ඉහත රීතිය බලපාන්නේ ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩ දෙකක් ඇතිනම් ඉහත රීතිය බලපාන්නේ දෙවන ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩය දෙවන ශබ්ද ඛණ්ඩය දැඩිව උච්චාරණය වන විට පමණි. හරි. ඒකේ C එකට යන්න. ස්වර දෙකක් යෙදෙන විට ස්වර දෙකක් යෙදෙන විට බොහෝ විට ස්වර දෙකක් යෙදෙන විට කියලා ස්වර දෙකක් යෙදෙන බොහෝ විට ඕනේ නැහැ. ස්වර දෙකක් යෙදෙන විට උච්චාරණය වෙනස් වෙන නිසා ස්වර දෙකක් ඇතුළේ උච්චාරණය වෙනස් වෙන නිසා ස්වර දෙකක් ඇතුළේ උච්චාරණය වෙනස් වෙන නිසා ED පමණක් එකතු කරයි. අටවෙනි එක ලියන්න. එල්ලකුරෙන් අවසන් වන ක්‍රියාපදවල එල්ලකුරෙන් අවසන් වන ක්‍රියාපදවල බ්‍රිතාන්‍ය ඉංග්‍රීසියේදී අග ඇති එල්ලකුර දෙගුණ කර ed එකතු කරයි. හරි. any questions so far on ඔය ටික ඔතනින් අපිට යන්න පුළුවන් ඊළඟ section එකට. But today we have the use discussion also. As I told you early, I will do your class on Wednesdays, right? Instead of Thursdays. මම මාරු කරන switch කරනවා බදාදා class එක. ඒකට මට මීට වැඩිය attend වෙන්න පුළුවන් වෙයි කියලා මම හිතනවා. දැන් irregular verbs ටිකත් මම කියලා දෙන්නම්. කියලා දීලා අපි චූටි break එකක් කරන් discussion එකට එමු. අද කතා කරන්න ඕන චමත් සුජාතා හඳුරු හැමෝම මලේෂියා ඔයා කතා කරේම නෑ. මනිෂ කතා කරන්න ඕන. Okay. දැන් ලියන්න මාර්කු ගාව regular verbs. Irregular verbs. Irregular verbs. අවිධිමත් ක්‍රියාපද. Irregular verbs කියලා ලියලා ඒ යටතේ ලියන්න. Irregular verbs කියලා ලියලා ඒ යටතේ ලියන්න. අවිධිමත් ක්‍රියාපදවල අතීත කාලය සහ අතීත කෘදන්තය බොහෝ විට වෙනස් අතර බොහෝ විට වෙනස් අතර ඇතැම් විටක රටාවන් හඳුනාගත හැක. ඇතැම් විටක රටාවන් හඳුනාගත හැක. හරි. මේ බලන්න මම රටාවන් ටිකක් කියලා දීලා ඔයාලට කියන විතර ටික හොයන්න කියලා. ආලගේ මම එකක් ඔය kick off grammar A කියන kick off A කියන පොතේ අග කෙළවරේ තියෙනවා. වෙනත් පොත්වලක් තියෙනවා. මම ඔයාලට දුන්නා English grammar news කියන PDF එක ඒකෙත් තියෙනවා. හරි ඒකෙත් තියෙනවා. ඔයාලා මේ රටාවල් අල්ලගන්න. මේ බලන්නකෝ සමහර ඒවා තියෙනවා වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ බලන්න cut. They don't change. Head, put, cast. එහෙමයි කියලා පුරුදු වුණාම ඇති. කියලා පුරුදු වුණාම ඔයාලට මතක හිටිනවා. cut, head, put, cast. එහෙම එනවා. ආයෙත් සමහර ඒවා මෙන්න මේ වගේ ස්ටයිල් එකක් එනවා. run. sing, sang, sung. ring, rang. එකම රටාවක් තියෙනවා. මේ වගේ patterns තියෙනවා. ඊට පස්සේ මේ බලන්න fight, fought. Fight, fought. Buy, bought. Amen. Right, ඊළඟට there are many more. Sent. Spent. ආයෙ විදියට එන්න පුළුවන්. ඔය විදිහට රටා ටිකක් තියෙනවා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න. දැන් ලියා ගන්න. ටිකක් මම ඔන්න ඔය විදිහට පෙන්නනවා. Finish writing. ඔය විශේෂ දේවල් නෑ රටාව අඳුර ගන්න තමයි ඔයාලට තියෙන්නේ. Finish writing. Hamdrine, have you finished?
yes sir.
හරි බලනවා. දැන් ඔන්නෝගේ රටා ටිකක් තියෙනවා. රටා ටික කියලා කියලා පුරුදු වෙන්න. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාලට පුළුවන් වෙනවා. රටාව හතර සැරයක් කිව්වොත් මම හිතනවා අවුරුදු 5කට මතක ඉන්නවා. මොකද දෙයක් නැහැ. එකම විදිය ටිකක් මොකද අනිත් එක තමයි අපි වැඩිපුර පාවිච්චි කරන වචන තියෙන irregular verbs. දැන් බලන්න ඔයාලා come came come go went gone. ඒවා irregular ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා. ඒක ලේසි ඔයගොල්ලෝ. right. ගොඩාක් ඒවා එහෙමයි තියෙන්නේ. eat ate eaten drink drank drunk. ගොඩක් ඒවා තියෙන්නේ එහෙමයි. ඒකද ඔයාලට easy. මම එනම් ඔන්න පෙන්නනවා පොඩි chart එකක්. අපේ US teachers ලා ඉන්න කලින් අද හැමෝම වගේ කතා කරමු. දැන් මම එක එක්කෙනාගෙන් අහන්නේ අනේ මට බෑ කියන එක ඇරෙන්න. ඔයගොල්ලෝ try කරන්න පුළුවන් නම් යම්කිසි දෙයක් ඔයාට අවශ්‍ය නම් දෙයක්. ඒ අවශ්‍ය දේ කොහොම හරි කරන්න පුළුවන් point එකක් හොයනවා මිසක් නොකරන්න points හොයන්න එපා. අද බෑ බයයි වගේ නේ අද නිකන් බඩගිනි වගේ කොන්ද රිදෙනවා වගේ එහෙම නැතුව මේ මොන හරි ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් නේ කතා කරන්න බාන හැමෝම මම මැසේජ් එකක් දැම්මට පස්සේ කැමති අය මම මැසේජ් එක දාන්න මම බලෙන් කොහොමද දෙන්නේ නැහැ chance අද අපිට දැන් කතා කරන්න ගොඩක් අය ඉන්නවා ඒකෙන්ද ඔයා මේ chance එක ගත්තේ නැතුනොත් ඔයාලට chance නැති වෙයි ගොඩක් දුරට ඒප්‍රිල් වලින් පස්සේ ටීචර්ස් ලා ඉන්නේ නැහැ සමර් කැම්ප්ස් යන හරි ඒකෙන්ද පුළුවන් උපරිම ප්‍රයෝජනෙ ගන්න මට ෆෝන් එක චෙක් කරන්න බැරි වුණා අර අනිත් ටීචර්ස් සම්බන්ධ වෙනවද කියලා right අන්න බලන්න table of common irregular verbs මම මේ පොත දීලා තියෙනවා මන්ද හාමුදුරු ගාව ඇති මේ පොතේ අග මෙන්න මේම තියෙනවා මේ බලන්න right bed become became become bend එකම විදිහට යන්නේ awake awoke awaken bend කියන එක කියන්නේ අර send වගේම
book
මෙන්න
number 1 එකේද 2 එකේ තියෙන මේක
kick off B එකේ තියෙන්නේ kick off B එකේ වෙනම පොතක් ඇති වෙනම පොතක් රතු පාට වගේ කවරයක් දාපු පොතක් ඇති ඒකේ ඇති ඒ kick off පොත දැන් ඒක කරන්න ඕන ඔයාලා කරලා ඉවර වෙන්නත් ඕන දැන් ඒකේ ගොඩක් දේවල් අපි කරලා තියෙන්නේ ඒ පොත අභ්‍යාස කරන් යන තියෙන ඉංග්‍රීසි අභ්‍යාස වලට දෙන්නේ දැන් ගොඩාක් අය කෝසස් කරනවා කියලා මොකද්ද කරන්නේ මේ මොනවා හරි වාක්‍ය ටිකක් දීලා පාඩම් කරනවා ඒක නෙමෙයි දැන් මම ඔයාලට තීරේ ගන්නවා ඒකේ යන විදිහ ගන්නවා දැන් ඔයාලා ප්‍රැක්ටිස් කරන්න පුළුවන් තරම් ඉංග්‍රීසි අභ්‍යාස කරන්න ඒතකොට අර ග්‍රැමර් ටික හදනවා කතා කරන්න එහෙම හදා ගන්න ඕන එතෙන්ට තමයි එන්නේ කියලා පුරුදු වෙන්න ඕන දැන් මේ ටිකේ මේකේ
සමේ පොතද
පේන්නේ නැහැ ඔව් ඔය පොතේ තමයි ඔය පොතේ අග ඇත්තේ ඔය පොතේ අග ඇත්තේ අග තියෙන්න ඕන බලමු රටාවල් තියෙද කියලා මේකේ රටා ටික බලමු රටා ටික අර මහත්තයාගේ පොතේ ගොඩක් වෙලාවට තියෙනවා අනිත් එකේ මේකේ අර ලොකුවට රටා ටික හඳුන්වලා නැහැ ලොකුවට irregular verbs ටික ඉන්ට්‍රොඩියුස් කරලා තියෙනවා බලමු මාපිකේ පොත තියෙද කියලා ඒ ලොකු පොත ඒකේ අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙන්න ඕන under the appendix. Under it, you have the irregular verbs there at the end of the book, but you don't have the patterns there. So I'm going to show the patterns using the Raymond Mab's book. Under the appendix, that should be available. They say this spelling. ඔකට කියන වචන තමයි spelling කියන එක. Spelling and irregular verbs. Yeah. අතේ රෙගියුලර් verbs ටික.
සර් මට අකුණු ගහලා වහිනවා ගොරවනවා මම පන්තියෙන් අයින් වෙනවා සර්.
right no problem. පුළුවන් වෙලාවට join වෙන්න. අද discussion එක තියෙනවා. මේ තියෙන යාලා පෙන්නලා මේ තියෙන මෙන්න මේවා burn එකම විදිහට smell same pattern එක තියෙන right ඒක එකක්. right okay මේකේ තියෙනවා ඊටු ටික. ඊළඟ මේකේ අභ්‍යාසයක් තියෙනවා ඔයාලා අභ්‍යාස කරන්න. ඔය essential english grammar කියලා පොතක් තියෙනවා මම ඒකෙන් ඔයාලට ෆොටෝ එකක් දාන්නම්. අනෙක් pattern ටික බලා ගන්න group එකට ෆොටෝ එකක් දැන් දාන්නම්. ඒකේ තියෙනවා ගොඩක් patterns. මේකටත් ඇරිය මේකේ patterns ටික දීලා නැහැ ඇත්තට මේකේ දීලා තියෙන්නේ මේකේ දීලා තියෙන verbs ටික දීලා තියෙන patterns වෙන වෙනම දීලා නැහැ වගේ මට පේන්නේ. ඔව් මේකේ නෑ. මට තප්පරයක් දෙන්න මම මේ පොතෙන් ෆොටෝ එකක් දාන්නම් ඔයාලට. I'll send the photograph. එතකොට ඔයාලා පොත්වල තියෙනවා කියව ගන්න. පත්තර ඇක්ටිවිටි කරන්න ඔයාලා තාම පත්තර එකක්වත් දන්නේ ඔයාලා ඇක්ටිව් මදි ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් එකේ දරුවෝ ඇක්ටිව් මදි හරිම පැසිව් මොකද මම කියන්නේ මගෙන් ඔයාලට ගොඩාක් ප්‍රයෝජන ගන්න පුළුවන් ගුරුවරයෙක් මම ඔයගොල්ලෝ වෙන ක්ලාස් වල වගේ නෙමෙයි මම කොච්චර දේවල් කරලා දෙනවද ඔයාලා ඇක්ටිව් නා මම ඔයාලට පත්තරේ ගන්න කිව්වා මම හිතන එක දරුවෙක් සමද්ද කොහෙද මට එවලා තිබ්බා මම පත්තරේ ගන්න මේ කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියලා අනිත් අය මේ ක්ලාස් එකේ නිද්‍රාශීලී right අනිත් අය මනීෂ ඔයා ෆෝවර්ඩ් නෑ හෝම් බෑ මොකද ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ පුතේ නිදාගෙන ඉන්න පන්තියක් නෙමෙයි. ඔයා මුදලක් ගෙවනවා, මහන්සි වෙනවා, කාලය කැප කරනවා, ඔයාගේ වැඩේ කොට දා ගන්න ඕන. එහෙම වුණොත් මම ඉස්සරහට ඔන්ලයින් ක්ලාස් කරන එක නවත්තනවා. ළමයි මේක ළමයි දෙයක් කරගන්නේ නැහැ. මුදල් නෙමෙයි ප්‍රශ්න. දරුවෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න ඕන හොඳට. අයි නැත්තම් තේරුමක් නැහැ පුතේ. ඔයාලා දැන් ඉන් පර්සන් එකේ නම් මම ළඟට ගිහිල්ලා කොහොම හරි ඔය ගැටලු තියෙන ළමයිට කියලා දෙන්න කතා කරනවා. ඔයාලා හැංගෙනවා. ඔයාලා ගේ මුල්ලේ හැංගෙනවා මොන හරි කරන්න කිව්වම. දැන් මම චමත් මේ කාටද මලිචට ගොඩක් දවස් වෙනවා කියලා ඇමරිකන් ඩිස්කවුන්ට් එක සම්බන්ධ වෙන්න කියලා පුතේ. ඒකේ මොන හරි ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් ඇවිල්ලා කතා කරන්න ඕන. පුතාලා එන්නේ නැහැ. කිව්වම දැන් ගෙදරනේ මට ගෙදරට එලා කණගෙන යන්න බෑනේ පුතේ. ඒකෙන්ද ඔයාලා දැනගන්න ඕන ඔයාලගේ වැඩේ කරගන්න. මොකද ඔයාලා හරි විදිහට නම් නේ මගේ පස්සෙන් ඇවිල්ලා සර් මට දෙන්න chance එකක් මට දෙන්න. එහෙමයි දරුවෝ ඉගෙන ගන්න. හොඳද? ඔයාලගේ මේ පැත්ත මදි. තේරුම් නැහැ පුතේ එහෙම. මොකද මම ආස වාක්‍ය ටිකක් පාඩම් කරලා ගිරාපොතකෙක් වගේ මොනවා හරි කියන දරුවෙකුට නෙවෙයි. තනියම නිර්මාණයක් කරන් ඉස්සරහට යන්න පුළුවන්. දවසක තනියම ටීචින් කරන්න පුළුවන්. මගේ ඉන්නේ එහෙම પરම්පරාවක් නේ. මම කැමති ඒ වගේ දරුවෝ ටිකට. පැසිව් මිනිස්සුන්ට මං ආස නැහැ. බැරි දේවල් මේ ලෝකේ නැහැ මහන්සි වෙන්න. මොකද ඔයාලට පුළුවන් අනිවාර්යෙන්. ඔයගොල්ලෝ ඍණවාදී ඒකයි ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ. මොන මං ඔයාලට එවනවා chart එකේ ෆොටෝ එකක්. මේකේ තියෙන රටා ටික එවනවා. මං ඕනනම් කියවන්නම් cost cut hit hurt let put shut lend send spend ඔය විදිහට ලස්සන රටා ටිකක් තියෙනවා. beginners ට මේ පොතේ යන රටා ටික හොඳයි. අන්න මම වඩ ෆොටෝස් එවුවා. Now you can read the group, refer to the group and ask questions if you have. Group එක වල ප්‍රශ්න අහන්න තියෙනවා නම් ඊට අමතරව මම ඉරිගුලර් works වල ලොකු මේ එකක් ඔයාලගේ group එකට දැම්මා නේද? ඉරිගුලර් වල ලොකු list එකක් එක දාලා තියෙ group එකට. ඒකට රටා ටික තියෙනවා. in person class එකේ දරුවෝ මේ list ඔක්කොම මොකද ක්‍රියාපද 300 400 ඔක්කොම ලියලා දුන්න පිළිවෙලට. දැන් online එකේ මට පොත් බලන්න දෙකුත් නැහැ නේ. in person එකේ මම මේ දවස්වල පොත් අරන් ගිහලා බලනවා පුතේ. In my online class, I don't have chance for that. Therefore, you are supposed to learn well. You have to be studious, right? So you have to pay your full attention to the course and learn the things. Otherwise, at the end, you will get nothing. No pains, no gains. You got to work hard because you are joining online. I can't find you here with me physically. That means I have lack of chances to support you with the books, writing. Regarding other students, I check everything. And we have 1 minute for the discussion. You get ready. Our teachers will join soon. Okay. Very good morning to you, Teacher David. Hope you are doing fine because you have cheerful face, and so is Teacher Louis.
Hi, so good to see you.
So
Hey,
good and
Heidi.
so nice to see you, Bob. So you both are cheerful today. I don't know why. There may be something special behind.
I have to
What?
turn the sound up just a second. All right. My hearing's going, Mahesh.
I just told that you both
Oh.
look cheerful today. Very cheerful. First, Teacher David. Teacher Heidi. I'm sorry, Teacher Heidi.
Yeah, I'm cheerful.
Yeah, you had a cheerful smile at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to eat breakfast and take my shower before this meeting, so that's good.
Yeah, that's why you look fresh, I think. And also you are enthusiastic in talking to my students. That's the other fact.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay. Are you aware of the topics today?
Oh yeah, family. I like talking about family.
Yes, especially relatives. In Sri
Mhm.
Lanka, relatives do play a major role in people's lives because they are interconnected. They have cluster families. Most of the times, they are used to be some relatives together, living together with the other people. That means some people had their aunts and uncles, nephews, nieces in the same family in the past. But now people usually have nuclear families or some extended families with their grandparents only. Only. But when we were small, we can remember that not almost all the people had houses. In the houses, there were uncles, aunts, nephews, nieces, right, very, very extended, large cluster families. I don't know how the situation in the US now, because here, you know, I'm one of 5 brothers. And whenever I need help, my brothers come and help. Or so I have some people to do something for me when I need, but that's what I want to say. So when we have an almsgiving, maybe a funeral or something like that, everybody gets together. And if you need help, they support. Especially at weddings, all the relatives are invited. Then relatives get together. At the funerals, nobody is invited. If the funeral is informed, almost everybody attends the funeral. That means the people who do not attend the weddings, even they attend the funerals. It's a must here in Sri Lanka. So there's a saying that if the people do not attend the wedding or the funeral, they are not relatives. That's what we call in Sri Lanka, here in Sri Lanka. So there's a saying in Sinhala, in our mother tongue. Right? If they need to be the relatives, they must attend the funeral and the weddings. Otherwise, they are not relatives. So
Whoa. Oh, yeah. Yeah. In the United States, we're more nuclear families. But some of us, like my family, my two sisters live very close, and my grandkids, and we all live pretty close. But I think that's unusual, right, Lois? I think kids.
Yeah, it's changing somewhat in terms of children coming back and staying at
Right.
home. And but I was thinking about that in terms of my family. My children live, except for one daughter who lives with us. My two sons live relatively far away. However, I just had my niece visit, my sister's daughter. My sister just died, and we are, relatively speaking, quite close, even though there are huge distances
Right.
between us. But my granddaughter's having her high school graduation, and the great aunts are all coming in with the grandparents for the graduation. But it's not the daily help. It's not the, always being there to do something for
Right.
you.
Yeah.
I'm taking advantage of my daughter living at home, however.
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yes, yeah.
And also one personal thing, teacher Louis, if teacher Paola is available now because of the daylight saving, if we can have
Yeah, but she's off to.
at least every other week or once a month in the meetings.
I will ask her because she's off to. She's going to be going back to Manila for a visit with everyone, and so I thank you. I will ask her. She will be pleased to know. I will do that. I will let her know, because the time change does make it a little different for her now. She'll be home.
Yes.
This
what I
is
meant,
my
yeah.
daughter-in-law, Heidi, and
Oh.
she shared with me for a while, about one or two times, I think it was. However, she's from Manila and originally, and she's young, which is
Wow.
which is one of the advantages. And so the combination of, understanding being younger and also being Asian, I think was a contribution for the students at that time. But thank you.
That's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Yes.
Good. Yeah.
Yes, I agree with you up to some extent, but what I have understood is that, especially the youngsters in the US, living in the US or from the US, they speak faster. Sometimes they don't have a good idea about the non-native speakers, because it's very hard for my students to follow them if they speak
Right.
fast. When it
Yes.
comes to you, I mean, my teachers available now, they have understood the level of my students, and they speak slowly. I mean, you speak slowly, and as a result of that, my students are following that very well. So there is something like that there also. I would highlight.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's yes, speaking slowly is, so as you know, I study Italian, and I've been trying more and more to listen to Italian programs and news, and it's so fast, so fast. And it's, you just have to really get used to it. You have to practice.
Yeah.
Yes, that's what I did also when I needed to learn English. I
Yeah.
kept on practicing speaking
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
myself sometimes, because I didn't have anybody to speak with. Then we go to the books, get the things, watch some TV channels. So I spoke to whoever I met, if they could speak in English. So I used to speak. That's how
For me, it's interesting in Italy too, that it's a relatively speaking smaller country. However, there are as many accents as you could possibly think about here from one city to the next, one region to the next, and they're quite
Yeah.
distinct. I've gotten to the point now where I can tell that there's a different accent, but yeah, sometimes it makes it even more difficult to understand.
Yeah.
Like for us,
Yes.
like for us.
Yes. So there I found the natural use of as form, as many accents as, like as many accents as you could that you could possibly think about, or something like that. You told me.
Yeah,
It's
that's
nice
true.
to you. That would be interesting for my students also. So let's start the discussion with our Buddhist monk, Sujata.
Oh, is he back? Okay.
Yes, Sujata Hamduru. We can ask about his relatives because now
Yeah.
he has left his relatives and
Okay.
gone to a temple to live. Hamdurone, you are on.
Good morning. Good evening.
Good morning, ma'am.
Yeah. How are you?
I'm doing great, ma'am.
Good.
How about
Good.
you?
I'm good. I'm doing well. Yeah, I'm doing well. So today we're going to talk about family. And I think last time maybe you told me a little bit, but can you tell me about your family? Do you have brothers and sisters, siblings?
Yes, ma'am. I am one of siblings, and I have a sister. I don't have brothers, so I am the one and only brother in my family, son in my family.
Okay, so only one sister?
Yes, ma'am. You're right.
Oh, okay. And how old is she?
I think she's 13 years old.
13 years old? Okay.
Yes.
So so she's younger than you are. In your house, do you your father and mother and your sister and you are the only ones that live there, or do you have any other relatives, any other family living with you?
No, ma'am. In our house, only my family members live in my house.
Okay. And how about aunts and uncles? Your mother and father, do they have siblings that live in your village, in your town?
Yes, ma'am. My father and mother have a lot of siblings, but they live far away from us.
Oh, so your family lives far away from relatives. So you're kind of isolated from the rest of your family.
Sorry, ma'am.
Isolated means that your family is alone and your other relatives are other
Yes,
families
ma'am.
far away.
Yes, ma'am. You're right.
Good.
A
Okay.
question,
Well,
a question, Heidi. Oh, do you live with your family or do you live in the temple grounds?
No, ma'am. I live in a temple, not with the family.
Okay, not with the
and
family.
how often do you see your family?
I see them every day because
Oh,
my temple is situated near to my house.
Yeah, adjacent, right? Adjacent, almost immediate neighbors.
oh, wow. So do you go to their house or do they come to see you?
No, ma'am. I am not allowed to go there, but they can
Oh,
come to temple and meet me.
oh, so you're not allowed to go there.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, are you allowed to go any places? Can you go into the village to the store or to a restaurant, or do you have to stay in the temple area?
No, ma'am. I can go to those places, but I can't go to house every time.
Oh, you can go to your house.
No, I can go,
Oh.
but
Yeah.
I go
Only
there.
really. Only really, not always. Not always.
Okay, not very
Yes.
often.
Very, very rarely. Once a month, right? Once a week, likewise.
Oh, okay. And are there celebrations that your family has? If somebody has a birthday or New Year's, are there celebrations that your family has?
Yes, ma'am. They celebrate their birthdays and the New Year festivals and Vesak festivals like this. Like this festival, they celebrate.
Oh, okay. And do you go home? Do you go to your house to celebrate those festivals? Are you allowed to do that?
Yes, we are allowed to do like that. But usually I not participate in those kind of festivals with them.
Oh, okay. Now, do some of your relatives who live far away, do they come then to your mother and father's house to celebrate?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes they come to my house and they enjoy those festivals.
Oh, okay. So how many people, if they have a big festival, a New Year festival, how many people will come to your family's house?
I think, ma'am, only 20 or 25 people.
Oh, well, that's good. And then do they stay at the house overnight? Everybody sleeps in one house?
Uh, yes, ma'am. It depends on the situations in the house.
Okay. And what kind of food do you have? Do they have special kind of food at these festivals?
Sorry, ma'am.
What kind of do they have special food for the festivals and celebrations?
Yes, ma'am. They make special foods, especially sweets in the New Year festival.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Sweets. We call them sweet meats.
Sweet meats?
Sweet
Sweet
meats. Yeah.
meats.
Sweet meats.
Oh,
They are different from normal sweets.
oh, okay. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. And tell me so your sister is 13 years old, and how old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
18 years old. And so do you and your sister get along when you were at home and living with your family? Do you and your sister get along, or did you fight, or what was your relationship with your sister?
Actually, that relationship was not good because uh, I was used to always fighting with her, and sometimes uh, I get blamed. I had got blamed from my mother.
Because you were older,
No,
you were the older brother, and you got blamed for your fighting with your sister. Was it did she irritate you? Did she say things to you that made you mad?
sorry, ma'am.
Did your sister say things to you that you didn't like?
Yes, ma'am. She's so talkative. I don't like to talkative persons.
You don't like a talkative person? Okay, I think we need to
Yes.
go now. But yeah, so you didn't get along with your sister, but now that you're in the temple, do you get along with your sister better?
Yes, ma'am.
Good.
No, that relationship is good.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, a Buddha student should be very understanding and kind, right?
You're right, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Okay, have a good day.
Same to you, ma'am. Thank you.
Bye.
Okay, you had a great time and you spoke to your heart, I think, right? Because you told everything, you expressed everything as they are and as they
Yeah.
were because
Yeah.
we had
He's interesting.
yes, we had no choice other than that. Anyway, now the life is different, Teacher Heidi, because when they are monks, they have certain rules and regulations and also restrictions. Relationships are better because they don't have time to fight, quarrel, and those things they can't do.
Yeah.
Then Sandeep, you are going to talk now.
Yeah.
Teacher Heidi, can you remember Sandeep?
Sundays?
Sandeep. Sandeep.
I don't. Do you understand, Lois?
I couldn't speak
Oh,
with
Sandeep.
her before.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
For the first time you are going to face, right? Okay.
Oh, okay. Okay. Hello?
There he is.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello, how are you?
I am pretty good. Thanks for asking. So, how about you?
I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's morning here, but it's evening at your house, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. So today I wanted to talk to you about your family. Can you tell me who lives in your house right now? Do you live at home with your mother and father?
Yes, ma'am. I'm living with my parents.
And do you have brothers and sisters, siblings?
No, ma'am. I am in only child in my family.
Oh, you're an only child? Wow.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, is that unusual? Or do you know a lot of your friends who are only children?
Yes, I know. I have some friends who are only child in their families.
Oh, huh. So that's not unusual. So do you have any other aunts or uncles that are living at your house, or only the three of you?
Only my parents and me live in my house.
Oh, okay. And do your mother and father have siblings that live close to you? Your aunts and uncles?
Yes, my mother has a one elder brother, and my father has uh, five elder brothers and three elder sisters. My father
Wow.
is the youngest one in his family.
Wow. Well, that's a lot. And do they live close to you? Do they come over?
Some aunts and uncles close to us. They live in our village, but some are far from us.
Oh, okay. And does your family like to celebrate with all of the family, all of the aunts and uncles and cousins? Do you have cousins too?
Yes, ma'am. I think around 35 or 40.
35 or 40 cousins?
Yes,
Wow. 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 And so do you all get together for celebrations, birthdays and New Year's and festivals? Do you all get together?
yes, ma'am. Close ones getting together, but someone is very far to us. So we meet once a year or 6 months per year.
Oh, okay. And what is the biggest celebration? Is it your New Year celebration where everybody gets together?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, that's fun. And do they come to your house or do you travel to their house?
Both scenes are happening.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes they come to our house, and sometimes we go there.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Do
Teacher
you
Heidi.
have a yes?
Yeah. Excuse me, Teacher Heidi. I think there's something special regarding Sandeep. He's visually impaired. He can't see.
Oh,
He's been visually impaired since birth. He's one of my best students in the class. It's very enthusiastic.
yeah. Yeah, your English is very good. Oh, yeah,
Thank you,
you
ma'am.
know what? I noticed the sunglasses, but I didn't realize that. I see. And so how do you get around? Is it difficult?
No, in this time it's normal.
Oh, good. Good, good. And how old are you, Sandeep?
I'm 19, ma'am. I'm going to be 20 in this year.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's interesting. And how long have you been visually impaired? How long have you been blind?
Since my birth.
Since your birth? Oh, okay.
Yes.
And in school, did they give you some special assistance, some special help so that you could learn along with the other students?
I went to an special school for the visually impaired students.
Oh, okay. Okay, good. And do you use Braille?
Yes, ma'am. I use Braille to read and write.
Oh, okay. And do they call it Braille or is it some other name?
No, in our country we use Braille also.
Good. Oh, okay. And I wanted to ask you about so how you live with your mother and father, and do you think you're going to move out sometime to live on your own?
Nowadays, I'm going to have a mobility training to go alone with myself. So now I go outside with my parents or my friends.
Oh, but you get special training and then you'll be able to be more independent.
Yes, ma'am. I hope to have a training in this year.
Okay. Now, are you in the kitchen much? Can you do your cooking for yourself?
My mother cooks every time, but I sometimes I help her to cook if I am free.
Oh, good. Oh, you're a good son. And do you get along with your mother and father? Are you happy living with them?
Yes.
They're nice people, huh?
Yes. Teacher Heidi, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In the US, do you have special schools for the visually impaired people or speech impaired people? Do you have any special schools? Or
Yeah.
do they all have to study in the same schools?
Sometimes they can study in the same schools, but we do have, I know at least one, I don't know, Lois, in Salem, Oregon. Salem, Oregon is the capital city of the state of Oregon. And they called it School for the Blind. I don't know if they've changed that to School for the Visually Impaired, but they had a lot of students that went there and had special instruction. And I think it was supposed to be very good, but I don't know, Lois, do you know of any others?
Well, I think every state has some schools like that. I don't know about Oregon specifically. And then I think you're right, at some point, if it's a decision that people can make with respect to whether or not they focus on Braille, and if they want to really pursue that line, then they usually go to a school specifically designed for
For that, yeah.
yeah. And
Yes.
so there are many throughout the United States, and then there's even I believe, a university for the blind, as I recall,
Yeah.
and so that one can move up through the educational, but it's still and then there are and I don't know if it's in Sri Lanka, but we have dogs that are specifically
Yeah.
trained, guiding
Guide
dogs for the individual. So, Sandeep, when you would go out to walk, like you're learning how to walk now, there's the cane, and then oftentimes people will have a guide dog, and the guide dog takes the person, helps them crossing the streets and such like that. So, but there are many, many opportunities for people to actually get that kind of training so that they can function that way. I have one question, Sandeep. If you have all these relatives, so as you grew up, how did you begin to distinguish which relative was one relative from another? Was it their voice?
Especially the voice.
The voice? Okay. So they come into the room and you could hear their voice and, you know, get familiar with it. It's for me, it's kind of interesting because I'm not visually impaired, but the thing I remember most about my family, and particularly the older ones who are now gone and dead and such like that, is their voices. And that even and my parents' friends too. I got a recording once for a party we were having, and they couldn't come, and they made this recording. And all I loved about it was I could hear the cadence, how they went up and down when they spoke, and the sound of their voice. I just loved it. So it's a whole different experience. It's quite wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Teacher Heidi, one more question. I think you are an ESL teacher. Therefore, I'll be happy to know what terms you use at the moment there, because in Sri Lanka, we still use disabled people, but in the world, I think the people use differently abled people instead of that. And instead of blind, people use now visual impaired, audibly impaired, and I think speech impaired also. So do you use the new terms or still you use the old terms? Is there a
I
change?
think more people now are using visually impaired, and that's the official language. But people still say blind, and
Mhm.
people refer to themselves as blind, and they, you know, there are organizations like Dogs for the Blind or visual. Well, and now I think they've changed it for the visually impaired, but that's more appropriate. But people still say blind. And yeah, and we talk about kids with disabilities or kids with special needs, and that's how we still refer to students that get extra help at school. Yeah, but
Yes,
that's very
definitely.
interesting. Yeah, and Sandeep, one more question before I have to go. But do you get along with your cousins? You've got so many of them. Do you get along with them?
Sorry.
Do you get along? Do you have a good relationship with your cousins? Some maybe better than others. Do you have some cousins that you are very close to?
Yes, ma'am. But nowadays our connection is a little bit poor because we all are very busy.
Mm.
But
Yeah.
in the past, when we are kids, my old cousins with me, and we have had a good relationship.
Oh, that's good. And do you call them? Can you call them on your telephone to talk to them?
Yes, ma'am. When I have a free time, I text with them, or sometimes we having a phone call and talk with each other.
Oh, that's nice. Good. And then if you want to go somewhere, your mother or father will drive you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Can you take public transportation, a bus or a train? Have you ever done that?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, yeah. So is it, oh, okay, we got to go. One last question. Is it
Okay.
easy to take a bus in your village or in your city? Do you have many buses that can take you different places?
We have many buses with the timetable.
Oh, yeah, schedule. Okay. All right. Okay. Well, thank you very much, Sandeep. You did a very nice job. Thank you. It's nice to talk to you. Have a
Thank
good
you,
day.
ma'am.
Have a good night.
Same to
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye
Okay.
bye.
Bye-bye.
So thank you very much,
Well-
Teacher Heidi, for everything. So we learned a lot from you about vocabulary and how the things
Yeah, it
go
was
in the US regarding relatives, because I didn't
Yeah,
have that
very-
knowledge of relatives in
very
the US, how
interesting.
they react with each other and one
Yeah.
another. Have a great
Very-
day.
Okay, you too. Bye, you guys. Nice to see you. Bye-bye.
Right.
Bye-bye. So Malki Prarthana.
Yes,
It's your
sir.
chance now. Teacher
Hey.
Lori is
Good evening, Malki. How are you doing?
Hello, ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Have a nice day. I'm so
You get-
very happy. How
You
are
had a
you?
nice day. Is that it? I heard you right. It's a little muffled what's going on when the sound comes through. Say, so I'm going to ask you again so I can hear better, okay? You had a good day, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and what did you do today?
I am reading books and reading newspapers.
Oh, an intellectual, reading books, reading newspapers. So today's topic is about your relatives. Do you live at home, Malki? I think you do, right?
Sorry, ma'am.
Do you live at home
Yes, ma'am.
with your parents? And do you have siblings?
Yes, ma'am. I have many siblings.
You have relatives that living at home? Besides your siblings, do you have other people living in your house?
Yes, ma'am.
Who are they?
Siblings.
Siblings. So are there a brother and a sister?
Yes, ma'am. I have a little brother.
A little brother. How old is he?
12 years old. 12 years old.
12 years old. 12.
12 years old.
Wow.
Okay, I'm sorry. That's my problem. It's hearing. And so do you have any other relatives besides your parents and your brother living in your house?
Sorry, ma'am.
Do you have any other relatives living in your house?
No, ma'am. Relatives not live in our house.
No other relatives living in your house. Where do you have grandparents?
Yes, ma'am. My mother's mother, I have.
And so your mother's mother, your grandmother,
Yes,
your
ma'am.
grandmother on your mother's side lives. So where does she live? Where does your grandmother live?
She live in Surya, but we live in Ability.
They live, I didn't understand.
Yeah, Malki, you say that right? She lives in Surya and I live in Ambilipiti, right? She doesn't know the names of the villages.
I don't.
She doesn't tell the distance.
I'm sorry. Okay, is that close to you?
Sorry, ma'am.
Is that town or neighborhood close to you? To your house? Is it close to your house?
No, ma'am. It is not close.
Okay,
It has some far.
it's quite far. And do you have uncles and aunts?
Yes, ma'am. I have many uncles and aunts.
How many uncles and aunts do you have?
Around 30.
Okay, and do you have cousins?
Yes, ma'am. I have good cousins.
Lots of cousins?
Huh?
So does the family get together every once in a while? Do all
Yes,
these
ma'am.
people come?
Yes, ma'am. We gathered in the New Year festival, Vesak festival, sometime weddings and funeral we gather.
And so when you have a big family get together, when everyone comes, so who makes the food?
Sometime makes foods with our family members, but sometime
Does your mother have to make everything? Does your
yes,
mother
ma'am.
have, your mother has
Yes.
to cook all the food for everybody?
Yes, ma'am. Sometime another sell to her.
And you help her? Okay. I mean, that's a big responsibility. And where do they all stay if they come for a festival? Do they just stay for the day or do they spend the night?
Yes, ma'am. Sometime they spend our house or my grandfather's house.
Okay.
Yes.
So you can have a very full house sometimes if you have many relatives who are staying and sleeping at your house.
Yes, ma'am. It's depend on the situation on in the house.
Yes. It depends upon the situation in the house, yeah. And so do you get along with your relatives?
Yes, ma'am. We are we live with together very lovely.
When you
And,
get together, yeah, excuse me. When you get together, do you have a good time?
Sorry, ma'am.
When you get together, when the family
Yes.
gathers together at the house for a festival or a wedding, do you all enjoy each other's company? Do you have a good
Yes.
time?
Yes, ma'am. After we gathered, we are very happy because we meet. We meet twice a month or twice a 2 month. Therefore, after we gathered, we very happy and we play some games.
Oh,
Like
so everybody gets together and you play some games. What kind of games do you play?
sometimes we play cricket, and I also like to play chess. Sometimes we do some. We like to go swim in the river. My
Oh.
grandmother's side has a river. Therefore, after we gathered, we're going to swim.
Oh, that's wonderful. Oh, you're lucky. That's lovely, lovely. Oh, so you just said it's a really good time with the family. So are there ever any arguments?
Yes, ma'am. I have some old humans in my family.
So there are some, so what kind of arguments do your family, what do they argue over?
Okay.
Some
Do they ever argue? Do they ever argue with each other over something? What kind of arguments?
no, ma'am.
You don't have any
Sometimes
arguments over the property rights even? No arguments.
no, ma'am. We don't arguments because after we gathered, we discuss our problems, and it's not problem.
It's not a problem. Oh, that's wonderful. See, in my family, so when my children get together, there are always arguments. They're all good cooks. And so they argue over who can make the best meal and how do you make this and why do you don't make that? And it goes on and on and on. So those are normal arguments. I'm so glad to hear about your family. Thank you so much, Malky. It
Thank
sounds
you,
like
ma'am.
a wonderful group of people. Thank you. Have a good
Thank
day or evening. All right.
Okay, Malki. I also do hope that you spoke something real, right? That's really nice. When you meet your relatives, they don't have any arguments, means you have a peaceful family, right? Extended family. So lucky for you.
Lucky for you, right?
So, Chamat, there's a boy. Luis, I'm quite happy about the students now because it's only 2.5 months since I started training them to speak in English. Now they have developed their English. They can speak with you. They can manage their English.
Oh, we'll see.
So there are so many matters for me to be happy. Chamat,
Amat, hi. Good evening.
Good evening, madam. How
How
are
was
you,
your
madam?
day? How was your day today?
It's good, madam.
It was good, okay. And what did you do today?
Today morning, I self-studied Photoshop and I practice to play guitar.
So you studied Photoshop?
Yes, madam.
Oh, I would have liked to have studied Photoshop. Oh, I'm jealous. I wish I could do that too. And you play the guitar. Okay. Are you in school?
No, madam. I have sat my A-level exam last December and now I
Okay.
am waiting for my A-level result.
Okay. So time is you're waiting for it. So this is a good time for you to do what you want to do. So do you live at home?
Yes, madam. I live with my parents.
You with your parents? And do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have one sister.
You have one sister. And how old is she?
She is 26 years old, madam.
26 years old. And do you have any other relatives that live in your house?
No, madam.
No.
They,
Okay.
they are separate.
Where do your any relatives live close to you?
Yes, madam. Nearby 1 kilometer, 1 or 2 kilometer.
2 kilometers. And how big is your extended family?
Actually, madam, my father has 6 siblings
Okay.
and my mother has 3 siblings.
Okay. So you have 9 aunts and uncles. How about grandparents?
Both sides of my grandparents were passed away, madam.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. And do you have many cousins?
Yes, madam, I think around 20 or 25.
20 or 25 cousins.
Yes, madam.
Wow. So do you all get together for a family get together or a festival or a wedding or a birthday?
Yes, madam. All of my relatives gather once a year. It is a New Year festival.
So they all come once a year. And yet, so who makes all the food? Where do they gather? At your house?
It depends, madam. Some years they gather at my house. Sometimes we go their house.
Okay. So you
When when
share.
when when they come my house, mainly my mother and sister has to prepare food. Also, I help them sometimes.
I hope you do. It's I mean, that's a lot of people to prepare food for. That is a lot of people. Does your family, do your family members get along with each other?
Yes, madam.
They do. And and your cousins, are you friends with your cousins?
Yes, madam. Very good friends. We are.
Very good friends with your cousins. So so a lot of your friends are family members. Okay. And So when you get together, besides eating, what kinds of things do you do?
Mm, when we are gathered, definitely we play card game.
You play card games? Do you
Yes,
play cricket?
also
Do you-
sometimes my uncle and boys play cricket,
Yeah. They
but
play cricket?
every time when we gather, we definitely play card game.
Card games, okay.
Yes.
And do you do puzzles?
No, madam, it is I don't know. Do you
Okay,
know
okay.
name of game?
Puzzles, yeah, I don't like puzzles anyway, but puzzles are, many pieces you have to put together to make a picture and takes a lot of That's one of the things our family will do when we get together is we'll have a big puzzle. And then everybody works on the puzzle together and they talk to each other and mumble and, do all kinds of things. So, I'm not sure, what kind of card games do you play?
Mm, it, I don't know, madam. Do you know
Oh, the name.
it is local games.
It's a local
I,
game.
I will tell the name.
Okay.
Hinganna, Suikins,
Bengal. Okay.
Hinganna, Suikins, Go Fish, some of them.
How many
Mm,
people can play at a time? 2, 4, 6?
these kind of games play any anybody any if you
Anybody can play. Okay.
if you have 20 people, you can play everybody, but you have to get many card packs.
Whoa. Well, that's a great game where
Yes,
you can have that many play at one
we
time.
we play for 4 hours continuously when we gather.
Oh, this must be fun. This
Yes,
must be a lot of fun. Okay. So are there any family, I'm going to use an interesting word, squabbles, arguments?
no, madam, never.
No, no arguments. Well, it's a good family then. Now here's another for me. If you were to define the hierarchy of authority in your family, who would be at the top?
Mm, top. My father's elder brother.
Your father's mother. Okay. Okay.
Father's elder brother.
Elder brother. Okay, your father's elder brother. Okay. And then you would sort of go through the males in the family as to down to you.
Yes.
Right, okay. All right. That's very interesting. So this sounds like we've heard two stories of very strong families that work together and play together. If there's a crisis in the family, somebody is hurt, somebody gets ill, how does the family function? What does the family do?
Mm, actually, when she or he
Yeah.
mm, mm, is sick,
Uh-huh.
actually, I mean, we take him to hospital, not
Uh-huh.
ambulance. Normally, we
Mhm.
take him or her to hospital, and we take lunch, dinner for he or her, like
Mhm.
them, madam.
So, just to be, get one more question. So if someone's in the hospital, the family will show up with food for the person in the hospital?
Yes,
Okay,
madam.
okay. Oh, that's interesting too. See, we're not allowed really to do that. We do, but we're really not allowed to do that. It's a pleasure talking. You answered the questions really quite wonderfully. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
It's a privilege for me to get to know how your family is. It's really a privilege. Thank you.
Thank you, madam.
Mhm.
Yes, Damat, you did very well today, and you are developing now, right? Just 3 months since I started.
Yeah,
Speaking English well,
Yeah,
answering English well,
very
understanding
good.
English very nice. And Teacher Louis, in Sri Lanka, there are 2 types of hospitals. One type is the mainstream, that is the government hospitals, where you can have the medical treatments free of charge. So we have a free health system. That's what we say. In addition to that, there are some emerging private hospitals where the people can go and pay money to receive treatments. Then usually the people who go to private hospitals have insurance facilities. So they have some insurance policies which pay them to stay in hospitals and receive treatments. So regarding the private hospitals, they are given meals because they pay money. If they pay money, they can have meals.
Yeah,
That in the
okay.
government hospitals, there's a system that the government offers some meals to the inmates, inward patients. But most of the people do not like to receive that meal, that food, if they can afford food from home.
Right.
There are some people who would like to accept that meal. It doesn't say that the meal is not good or
Yeah,
meal is not rich in the nutrients. It doesn't say so. But the people have an attitude to get the food from homes. So that's how
well,
it happens. Otherwise, they can
it's,
have, so they can be given the food from the hospital also if they order that before offering, before serving the lunch or breakfast or dinner. Somebody comes to the ward and asks if the patient need that. If they request, if there's a list there, if they request that, they are given food.
well, it functions a little bit like that here, but often with certain types of illnesses, the doctors will say there's a very special diet that you can have. So they limit the amount that anybody can bring in from outside. And that's just the way it is at this point. And the food in the hospital is truly horrible. I can honestly say it is so bad. So
It may be due to the attitudes or the situation in hospitals, or sometimes according to the kind of problem we have, kind of disease we have, because for some particular diseases, there are some recommended diets.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, we got one else waiting. Timasha.
Yes, sir.
We got around
Timasha.
5 minutes. Hope that we have a better connection.
Good evening, Timasha.
Good morning,
Good
ma'am.
evening. Thank you. It's good to see you. I don't think we've ever met before. Timasha is a beautiful name.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah. So Timasha, do you live at home?
Yeah, I'm living home, ma'am.
And how many people are living in your house?
My parents and my sibling.
And how many siblings do you have?
I have one younger sister and one young brother.
A younger sister and a younger brother. And do you have grandparents living at home?
Not in my home, but my grandparents live next to our home.
And do
Next
they
up.
live by themselves or with an uncle or aunt?
They live alone.
They live alone. Okay. And so are these grandparents your mother's mother and
Yeah.
father, or your mother's mother?
Mothers.
And where does your father have parents alive? Excuse me, honey. Hold on a second. I gotta turn that off. Okay. Excuse me. I'm sorry.
My father's father is still alive, but mother is passed.
Okay. And how many aunts and uncles do you have?
in my mother's side, my mother have 2 sisters, and my father's side, he has 8 siblings.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So do you have many cousins?
Yeah, about 15.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah.
And so does your family get together as an extended family often?
Yeah, in New Year season, and also in November month, our house has a alms giving. So in that event, we all are get together.
Okay, I'm not sure I totally understood. So do you get together every month or just at special occasions?
Just special occasions.
Just special occasions. And so how many people, if you have a special occasion, how many people in your family will show up?
About 20.
20. And where do you go? Do you go to your house? Do you go to your grandparents' house? Where do you go?
They come to our house, and also they visit our grandparents' house.
Okay, and you live close to each other. And so when you have 20 people together, who prepares all the food?
Sometimes my mother, and I and my sister also help her. And my mother's sisters also help when they come.
When they come. So do people bring food or do you just cook it all in the kitchen at the same time?
We cook in our kitchen at the same time.
Okay, so for example, here, when people get together, a family gets together for a day, people will bring food. They will make it at their own home and bring it, and we will have what we call a potluck, which comes from the Native American in the United States, Indian tradition where people come and they share their food with each other. We don't often have one person or one family responsible for cooking everything, but it's just a different tradition. Just, and what can do it if you stay. So how many days do people stay at your house when there's a celebration?
About 3 or 4 days.
3 or 4 days. Okay. And so what do you do during those 3 or 4 days?
Sometimes we goes to beach, and we sometimes play games with our cousins, like cricket, and card games also. That are the things when we are gathered.
Yeah, sounds like a very good get together with everyone. As you were speaking, in my family, it's been a tradition for the last 2 or 3 years that every summer, the extended family on my husband's side gets together with all the grandchildren and we go to the beach. And we play at the beach and have a wonderful time. Thank you so much, Tamish. It's very good to meet you.
Okay, ma'am. Have a nice day.
You too, please. What a
Yes,
beautiful thing.
Dimasha, hope you enjoyed everything. And Teacher Lewis, you sound that you had a great childhood. You have enjoyed everything during the childhood because the memories
Yeah.
are recalled happily,
Yeah.
cheerfully.
Well, my extended family was just quite wonderful. And I really enjoyed my aunts and uncles a lot and learned a lot from them. And my husband's family, I have a wonderful sister-in-law and 2 sister-in-laws that are quite wonderful. And they're very close. We're all very close.
Yes, that's why you got cheerful memories, happy memories. And
Yes.
Dimasha, I'm really happy because you were brave enough to be present today, because I Today
You
I
did very
asked my
well.
students to join voluntarily, and they send their
You
names.
did very, very well. Very, very well. It was good.
Yes,
Yeah.
very good student. So very nice. Have a great time, Teacher Luis.
You
Enjoy your
too.
day. Have a good
Thanks.
day. And my
I will
students, good
talk
night.
to Paula. Okay. Thank you.
Bye bye then.